Right now on 27 News at 11, the U.S. government has just released the latest jobs report, why the numbers aren't what economists expected. And we'll tell you how new data shows COVID-19 was the leading cause of death this week. Plus, the city of Madison is close to finding a new police chief. We'll tell you who the finalists are.
We've got you covered. This is 27 News at 11, voted Best Morning Newscast.
Well, good Friday morning to you as we take this live look over Cascade Mountain, which even with these mild temperatures is opening this weekend. You can see those ski lifts going. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sara Maslar-Donar. Caroline is off. Meteorologist Max Paris will have a look at how long we can expect these milder sunny days to last in just a bit. But first, new this morning, the U.S. economy added about 245,000 jobs in November, about half as many as economists expected. It's the fifth straight month that the pace of hiring has declined, and it's the slowest month of growth by far since recovery started in the spring. The government also reported the unemployment rate inched down slightly from October to November. The U.S. economy is still down 9.8 million jobs since before the pandemic. This morning, we're learning that the president's campaign has raised more than $207 million since Election Day. After the president's projected loss, his campaign sent out hundreds of emails and texts asking supporters for money. Many of the appeals highlighted the president's, quote, official election defense fund. But most of the money doesn't go to the Trump campaign's account to fund recounts. Instead, a majority went to a new political action committee established by the president. Well, right now, President Trump is appealing a decision by Wisconsin's Supreme Court to not take up a lawsuit that aims to disqualify 221,000 ballots in Dane and Milwaukee counties. The president had filed appeals in Dane and Milwaukee circuit courts. The state's highest court says the case must first wind its way through lower courts. Governor Tony Evers praised the high court's decision to not hear the cases.
I thought it was a good decision. I was frankly amazed that it was not unanimous. The claims that the president made and his allies in the three suits were frankly an assault on our democracy.
Overnight Wednesday, the president filed a second lawsuit over his Wisconsin election loss, this one in federal court. No word from the courts on that one yet. Well, new this morning, the Madison Police and Fire Commission has announced that it's narrowed down the search for a new police chief to 4 finalists. You can see their names on your screen here. They're Sean F. Barnes, Ramon S. Batista, Christopher A. Davis, and Larry R. Scarata. The commission will conduct final interviews of these candidates on December 8th, and there's going to be a 35-minute recorded question and answer session for people to watch. We have photos and bios of these finalists on our website, WKOW.com. Right now, a fugitive accused of shooting a Massachusetts state trooper 2 weeks ago is dead after a shootout in the Bronx. 35-year-old Andre Sterling was wanted for shooting a trooper in the hand. Detectives learned he was in the Bronx this morning, and when they tried to arrest him, a shootout began. Several law enforcement officers were shot, but officials say they're expected to recover. Sterling was shot at the scene and has since died. A second suspect was taken to the hospital for treatment. There's no word on their condition or involvement. Well, new this morning, the University of Washington's Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation says COVID-19 was the leading cause of death in the U.S. this week. IHME says that daily deaths in the last week increased to an average of 1,660 per day, up from 1,470 the previous week. Second to COVID-19 is heart disease, with a distant third being lung cancer. It is important to note that IHME made its calculations by assuming uniform deaths of non-COVID causes throughout the year. New data also from the Institute for Health Metrics paints a staggering picture of U.S. COVID deaths in the coming months. The update projects more than 500,000 deaths by April. Data suggests daily deaths will peak in the range of 3,000 in mid-January before gradually falling. While this model covers the period before vaccines are expected to be available, it only predicts a reduction of about 11,000 deaths once the vaccine is rolled out. The model argues that if everyone wore masks, more than 66 100,000 American lives could be saved. Today, Vice President Mike Pence is heading to the CDC headquarters in Atlanta to learn more about the vaccination process. Pfizer has said its first doses could be available as early as December 15th, and Moderna's vaccine is also set to roll out this month. CDC wants healthcare workers and patients in long-term care to be the first to receive the vaccine. Pence is the head of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. And we now know Beloit College is pushing back the start of its 2021 spring semester because of the pandemic. The new start date is February 15th. The college said it would be irresponsible to bring students back in mid-January when things are expected to be at their worst. They're also hoping that by starting a month later, they'll avoid the post-holiday COVID-19 surge and the overlapping flu season. Right now, donations are pouring in for one of Madison's LGBTQ-friendly bars. The Shamrock Bar and Grill says the pandemic has hurt them financially, as it has many restaurants and bars. So this morning, the owner is asking for some help. A GoFundMe has been created, and in just a few hours, it's racked up thousands of dollars. You can see they have a $45,000 goal there. We have information on how you can help on our website, WKOW.com. Dane County contact tracers say they're already seeing the effects of Thanksgiving gatherings and how they've affected the spread of COVID-19. They also say small gatherings are spreading the virus more than large super spreader events. Dane County still has, quote, very high levels of COVID-19 activity. And contact tracer Ann Morgan-Giroux says that means even gathering with one person can be risky.
Every time that you get together with your brother who doesn't live with you, or a friend who doesn't live with you, that is now a big risk. And we're seeing that tick up, especially since last Thursday, since Thanksgiving.
Contact tracers also are seeing more infections tied to hunting trips.